There's a force inside you that has been shaping your life quietly, pulling strings beneath your awareness. Most people never see it. They just live in cycles, drained, distracted, half awake, wondering why nothing ever really changes. You wake up determined. You tell yourself this day will be different. This time you won't get caught in the loop. But hours later, you're scrolling, binging, numbing, avoiding. Not because you don't care, not because you don't want more, but because something deeper inside you is keeping you from it. That something has a name. Freud called it Thanatos, the death drive, an unconscious force that doesn't push us toward growth or evolution, but toward collapse, toward silence, toward non-existence. It doesn't scream, "I want to die." It whispers, "Take the edge off. Just rest a little longer. Escape. Hide." And in today's world, Thanatos thrives. It doesn't come wrapped in tragedy. It comes dressed as convenience. It looks like endless scrolling, midnight snacks, toxic comfort, fake connections, short-term highs. It hides in your phone, your habits, your excuses. You don't even recognize it as self-destruction because it feels good. Your brain reinforces it. Every time you avoid the work, the confrontation, the discomfort, dopamine rewards you. A rush of relief, a hit of just one more. You repeat it not because it makes you happy, but because your biology says, "Do it again." This is the trap. Pleasure becomes poison. Numbness becomes normal. And when you try to break the cycle, that subtle resistance rises. That invisible weight drags you back. You try to change, but something within you whispers, "Why bother?" That's not laziness. That's not a lack of willpower. That's a war inside your psyche. Eros and Thanatos, life and death, clashing every time you try to evolve. Eros is the force that wants you to grow, to connect, to create. It's the reason you care at all. It's what brought you here. It's what still wants more for your life. But Thanatos wants rest. It wants silence. It wants the absence of pressure, effort, pain. It wants to dissolve back into the void. And here's the truth that most people never hear. You are not in full control. Freud was blunt about this. The ego is not the master in its own house. You are not always choosing your patterns. You are often reenacting unconscious ones. You inherited them. You internalized them. And they're still playing out even when you think you've outgrown them. Your dopamine system has been hijacked. Your brain has been trained to reward behaviors that distract and destroy you. It doesn't care if something is good or bad. It cares if it brings short-term relief. That's how neural circuits are wired. You're not addicted to pleasure. You're addicted to escaping pain. And most of your escapes aren't random. They're rituals, small daily attempts to avoid something you don't want to feel. Shame, fear, grief, loneliness, the feeling that you're not enough. These aren't just emotions. They're memories your body carries. And your destructive habits are attempts to bury them. But you can't bury pain without also burying your potential. You can't run from discomfort without running from growth. And at some point, you have to stop asking, "Why am I like this?" and start asking, "What part of me is trying to be heard through this behavior?" Because every self-sabotage is a message in disguise. The cycle won't end by force. It won't end by motivation or morning routines. It ends when you're willing to face what you've been trying not to feel, when you stop blaming yourself and start listening to yourself, when you stop numbing and start noticing. Change begins with brutal honesty. You have to look at your life and ask, is this building me, or is it breaking me? Is this habit feeding life, or feeding decay? Am I chasing purpose or hiding from pain? And once you start to see it clearly, you can't unsee it. You start to notice the moment the distraction calls, the moment your body tries to run. And in that moment, you can choose something else. Not something grand, just something different. One small act of creation instead of destruction. One choice to lean in instead of pull away. One breath of presence instead of drowning in stimulation. This is how you rewire your brain. This is how you weaken Thanatos. With consistency, with consciousness, with courage. You won't silence that voice overnight, but you can stop obeying it. Because Eros never left, the part of you that wants to live is still here, still whispering, still trying to pull you toward the light. And if you're still watching, that part of you is waking up. You are not here by accident. Something in you is ready to shift. You've seen behind the curtain now. You know the truth. You've been pulled in two directions your entire life, one toward growth and one toward disappearance. And now that you know that, every choice matters more. Every moment is a vote toward becoming or toward escape, toward the life you want or the numbing that buries it. So ask yourself, right now, am I choosing to live or am I choosing to avoid? That question alone can change everything, because the truth is, avoidance doesn't just steal your time, it slowly erodes your identity. Every time you escape, you teach your nervous system that your fears are stronger than your future. You reinforce the idea that discomfort is a danger instead of a doorway. And over time, that quiet avoidance becomes who you are, until you forget you ever had a choice. But the moment you face it, the discomfort, the craving, the compulsion, you begin to remember. You remember your strength. You remember your agency. You remember that you were never meant to drift through life half awake, sedated by routine and rewarded for your own decline. You were meant to feel, to struggle, to grow, to rise. So the next time you're at the edge, hovering between the easy path and the honest one, pause, breathe, and ask again, does this feed my decay or does it feed my rebirth? Your future depends on how you answer.